One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in its soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Whistles report he paves his way. A legend in the making, day by day.
Yes, sir. Much love and respect to everybody. Let's get it in this morning. Shout out to all of you guys that are a part of the Insane Wheels membership, which is all of you guys in the Breakfast Club. I can't thank you guys enough for supporting the show, man, and being here with me, man. It's always legendary to have all of you guys here. And also, by the way, I got to call out my man. My man Chase seems to think in the chat that I was going to go live late. He thought for some reason, he's like, I'll bet you $5 that you go live late. Okay. I guess you're not here for the morning shows. You know what I mean? I'm live on the dot every single fucking day. At the expense of other people, yeah, that's when we're late. But when it's my own show, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. We are never late over here. You know what I mean? I don't think I've been late once to my own show. I don't think that's ever happened. Like, I'm like super about being on time. You know, this is, if people are going to be here, people need to rely on me. You know what I mean? So I appreciate all of you guys coming in, hanging out with us. We got Frank as well. Damn, we got Huggy. Morning, boys. Training someone in the truck today. Going to be nuts, not doing anything. Hey, I feel that. What up, Rabbit? Good to see you, as well as Junkyard. We live, baby. That's right. Say it with your fucking chest. I appreciate you. For the record, Mike, you owe me $5 because you were 1 minute late. No, I was not. I went live 9:59 and 40 seconds. I have it recorded right here, so you can't argue that. Sorry about it, dude. Oh shit. Yep, it's going down. It's going down. He thought he caught me slipping, but not today, bro. Not today. Not happening, bro. He says I call bullshit, bro. Hey, it is what it is. Look, what happens when a man can't, like, I won the bet, you know? When Mike rolls with the other set, he is late as fuck. Oh, shit. Well, listen, man. Listen, it's not because of me that we're ever late. I promise. Like, it's only been like one time where like my internet like didn't work or something like that. And there was an issue where we went on late on a members only live. I think it was a members only. Jack Smith still hasn't been nominated or confirmed by the Senate to be a special prosecutor. Morning, Mike Ball in chat. Hey, good morning, Steve. And you are very right about that. We're going to be getting that in today. We've actually got two different liberal news sources that I want to bring to your guys' attention and watch live with you. And always, Chase, you already know that. Much love, honor, and respect. Papa Penguin, morning, y'all. Wife is driving me in to pick up my truck. Failed inspection because my muffler is quote unquote bad. Should have never taken it to Firestone. Damn it, bro. That fucking that does suck. All ready for Sunday's show, Hardwire says. Think I am going to have to try to keep them shorter. Mike says, get more and better playability. Well, yes, your playback ability on a 2 hour or an hour long, let's just say an hour long live stream. Most people, you want people to start the video and end the video. You don't want them to end halfway through. That actually hurts your demographics more in your analytics more than if you were to just do a 20-minute clip let's just say you go live for 20 minutes and it's engaging as fuck for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? You want to leave people with like wanting more. You know what I mean? You don't want them like already like tired of watching, like, oh, I finally he ended. You know what I mean? And that's what I try to avoid myself. I still love IHOP. That's right, bro. Hey, I love it, bro. I love it. I embrace it. What up, Martin? How's everyone doing today? We're doing great over here on this side of the fence. I'm still going to try and listen, but my migraine has been super bad all morning. SNS, I'm super sorry that you're going through that. Take some Excedrin, bro. For sure. I'm sorry about that, though. I'm on that BPT. Luckily, I made it on time for that show. For the show, absolutely, you did. You made it perfectly on time. What does Mike know? He is only internet famous because he did a show with Danny D. Woo! Oh man, I'm not gonna say anything. YouTube class with Mike. Hey, we do it up over here. You know what I mean? I could have a whole seminar. You know, I could have a workshop right now. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this. We're going to go ahead and get into the first one from CNN yesterday, new Trump indictment in election subversion case from CNN. So as you guys see, I'm subscribed. Let's go ahead and hit that like button for YouTube and let them know that, hey, you know what I mean? We're doing the right thing over here. So anyways, let's go ahead and see what CNN has to say.
Special Counsel Jack Smith has just filed a superseding indictment in the federal election interference case against the former president, Donald Trump. Let's go straight to CNN's Caitlin Polance. Caitlin, this is just happening right now. What more do we know?
They're basically breaking it.
This is the special counsel's effort to get this case back on the road toward trial. This is the January 6th federal election case in court in Washington, D.C. against Donald Trump. The charges, the 4 charges that Donald Trump has been facing for quite some time now, they're the same in this, what's called a superseding indictment. So a rewritten version.
That's right. So basically what was going on, about a year ago or whatever the case was, when it got, the whole thing got put on a hold, essentially, they're basically charging them for the exact same thing they were back then. But they're trying to get around what the Supreme Court has basically ruled and said what they cannot include. And so that's exactly what they're doing right now. So very interesting. Let's go ahead and see what they got to say.
Version of the criminal charges against the former president for conspiracy and other counts related to what he did after the 2020 election. But what the special counsel's office is saying they're doing here is they needed to go back to the grand jury, Phil, and rewrite those charges so that they would incorporate what they need to say that's in line with what the Supreme Court told them they must do. Remember, the Supreme Court just in June made that decision on presidential immunity, saying that some of the things in this case had to be cut out, such as things that were allegations that may be part of Donald Trump's official duties as president, especially his interactions with others below him in the administration. So I'm still going through the superseding indictment documents that we have. It's a 36-page document. And so what we have here now in this
it went from a 45-page document to a 36. So, obviously things were taken out from the original filing.
Is that there are co-conspirators listed, but one of those people that we had before that would have been heard by many people on the jury, if it had gone to trial, there would have been a lot of information about that official, Jeffrey Clark. He's not one of the co-conspirators anymore. He was a Justice Department official. Now it is 6 different private people, 5 private attorneys plus a private political consultant.
We still doing our motherfucking thing over here. Absolutely.
Good to see you. Before the grand jury and now in this indictment against Donald Trump.
Caitlin, you kind of walked through the process, how we got here on some level. I think my biggest question, given how closely you followed this, did you expect this when and I know you're still going through it right now. You've just started reading through a pretty lengthy document. What about this is surprising based on what we've known coming up to this point?
Well, what's surprising is the timing here. I mean, we are right before the election.
Yes,
we're not in that window where the Justice Department doesn't want to do anything that disrupts the election, the 60-day period. But we're nearing the end of August. And at the end of this week, we are expecting, Phil, the Justice Department to tell the judge what they want to do for the path forward. This appears to be one of the steps to take to move things forward and to set up the next phase of this case. And the way the special counsel describes this in sending this out to the public is that they say that
Facts,
they brought
Beezer.
this indictment before a new grand jury, one that had not heard about this case before, that had
What?
approved the indictment against Donald.
How can anybody not know about that case? Anybody in a grand jury would know about that case. Stop the cap with that shit, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy right there.
Trump previously, that they approved it. That is the process for an indictment. It has to go before a grand jury of more than 20 people. And it reflects
facts.
the efforts to implement the Supreme Court's holdings and what to do next. And so what this does today is it kicks off that next phase so that the Justice Department can continue attempting to prosecute this case in a way that they have said for some time now they want to happen as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible. They're not waiting to Friday to tell us what they're going to do next. They're saying now, here's the plan, and then we're going to be working forward from that.
It's
court.
insane over here.
Caitlin Polance, I know you're going to go back to reading.
Just be thankful that you're Australian. You know what I mean? Be thankful of that. In this case, you know what I mean? You don't have to deal with this craziness. Now, I wouldn't want to be an Australian only for the fact that, hey, you guys don't really have many rights to do much of anything that we like to do over here. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, at least you don't have to deal with this at the moment.
What was just filed and talking to your sources as well, please flag when you find new interesting
Morning,
nuggets.
Gorilla. Good to see you, my man.
In the meantime, I want to bring in CNN's senior legal analyst, Ellie Honig. Ellie, break this down for us. After the great reporting from Caitlin there, going through very quickly this filing, what exactly did Jack Smith do here?
No shit,
was this
dog, for real?
So, Phil, what Jack Smith has done here is pare down the original indictment dramatically in an effort to save it. So the original indictment, you'll probably recall, charged a broad-ranging conspiracy that essentially entailed a whole bunch of different buckets of conduct by Donald Trump. His pressure campaign on Mike Pence, his pressure campaign on the Justice Department, his attempt to pressure state officials, the fake electors scheme. Well, in this new indictment, which is called a superseding indictment, it now essentially replaces the old indictment. The part about the Justice Department is out. The part about Mike Pence is out.
I would agree with this,
Beezer. In this superseding indictment is the charges relating to Trump's effort to pressure state and local officials and to submit false slates of electors. Now, if you're wondering why would Jack Smith pare back, cut back his own case, the answer is because of the U.S. Supreme Court's immunity ruling, which came down in July. And in that ruling, the Supreme Court said that many of the things that Donald Trump did while he's in office, including specifically his interactions with DOJ, some of his public communications, likely his interactions with the vice president, the Supreme Court said those things are likely going to be immune and therefore out of this case. And so Jack Smith has now made a tactical decision. I'm not going to fight the battle to keep those things in the case. I'm going to take them out of the case. I'm going to focus on the pressure that Donald Trump put on state and local officials and the fake elector scheme. And I'm going to try to move ahead with those pieces of the case still in place.
That's hilarious.
Ellie, with full disclosure that I have not read this yet, we've been live on air. This sounds the way Caitlin was describing it, the way you're describing it. Jack Smith is essentially testing the proposition put forward by Amy Coney Barrett, where there is the official acts are one thing, and then there's some middle ground there. There's some gray area there that there could perhaps be a path forward for this case on. Is that a fair kind of assessment?
I think it is, Phil. I think this is a tactical retreat of sorts. I think Jack Smith has made the decision, given the Supreme Court's immunity ruling, I don't want to spend the time and resources to fight for inclusion of those other parts of the case. And so what Jack Smith has done is sort of retreat back to the safest ground.
We'll see on the flip
part
side.
that the Supreme Court actually said is probably okay, is probably not immune. They said it's very likely not the job of the president to interact with and pressure state and local officials. And therefore, Jack Smith has said, okay, very well, I'm going to stay with that part of the case. I'm going to build my case around that. And so I think this is, again, a tactical response to the immunity decision. But Phil, really important to understand, Donald Trump's team is probably not going to even be okay with this. Donald Trump's team is probably going to argue even what's left in the case is immune, and they're going to want to litigate that, argue it in court. And then no matter what, they get to still appeal this up the chain before it goes to trial. So I think this move will expedite the case and expedite the trial. but there's still a 0% chance that this particular case gets tried in the 7 weeks or so between now and Election Day.
Exactly, I mean, I think that's a question probably everybody, including both campaigns, including the Trump legal team wants to know right now, is define expedite. What does that actually mean right now, given the moment we're in the political calendar?
So expedition, I guess, is in the eye of the beholder. Just so anyone can put aside any thoughts of this case will not be tried before Election Day. There is simply no way, because in the immunity ruling that came out in July, the U.S. Supreme Court said Donald Trump has the right to appeal whatever the district court, the trial court finds is in or out of the case. So again, this is a big win for Donald Trump. I mean, I think it's a smart tactical move by Jack Smith, but half the case or so, maybe more, just fell away against Donald Trump. That said, he's not going to be satisfied. He's still going to argue the whole case should be dismissed. I think that argument will be rejected by the district court, but the Supreme Court said Donald Trump still can appeal that, meaning to the D.C. Court of Appeals, and then potentially back to the Supreme Court before trial. So there's no way, Phil, that we get through that whole appeals process and still start a trial between now and November. It's not going to happen. I mean, that's just not going to happen.
Correct. Well, at least he was honest about that aspect for sure. All right. So that was CNN, right, guys? So we have, which people would consider a leftist media. And we're also going to go over as well to a very leftist media, which is MSNBC. We're going to go ahead and see what they have to say about what's going on here. They basically broke the news as well. The liberal news media is going to, of course, hop on the train of anything that is negative against Trump. They're going to go ahead and start breaking that news. So yeah, just the way the media is. So let's go ahead and see what MSNBC has to say.
Because we have some major breaking news. Special counsel Jack Smith has just filed.
It's so funny because right before this, they were talking about like how amazing Kamala Harris is, which is so funny. Oh my God.
Superseding indictment in the federal January 6th case. In a statement, the special counsel says, quote, today, a federal grand jury in the District of Columbia returned a superseding indictment charging the defendant with the same criminal offenses that were charged in the original indictment. The superseding indictment, which was presented to a new grand jury that had not previously heard evidence in this case, reflects the government's efforts to respect and implement the Supreme Court's holding and remand instructions. Let's bring in MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin. Lisa, what more can you tell us?
Well, Alicia, I can tell you a couple of things. One is that the Department of Justice, or rather the special counsel's office, in bringing today's superseding indictment, didn't change any of the actual charges against former President Trump. They remain identical to those on the original indictment,
it's exactly
which was filed a year ago, or more than a year ago at this point, in August of 2023. But we are already seeing, just in comparing the number of sheets of paper, the original indictment was 45 pages long. This is 36 pages long. And so I expect once we start doing this page-to-page comparison, we will see the places where they have taken out allegations in order to try to comply with the Supreme Court's ruling. And in particular, one of the things that I expect will be missing here are allegations about former President Trump's—
Hook Dog, you're absolutely right. It'll only boost his numbers. And even if dude goes to let's say dude ended up going to prison. Honestly, I don't think that would hurt him at all. I think it would actually help him in popularity. The truth is a lot of these people see through this bullshit, and you're very right about this, Hook Dog. So it's interesting to watch
interactions with Department of Justice officials. That is one.
This all is definitely a distraction, and timing is impeccable on the Democrat side. It always is.
Concrete area that the Supreme Court hit in its July opinion, saying that his discussions with folks at the Department of Justice about whether or not there was election fraud and what they should do about it were part of his core constitutional duties for which he was entitled to absolute immunity. That is perhaps the only area that they gave clarity on. The others, they gave sort of contours about what he would be immune for, what he wouldn't be immune for. But that is one where they gave precise guidance. And so I would expect to see that cut out of this superseding indictment. I will also tell you, this isn't entirely a surprise. When the special counsel's office 3 weeks ago asked Judge Tanya Chutkan for more time to tell her what they thought the appropriate way forward was, a number of folks, me included, thought one thing that they could be doing with that time is thinking about whether they want to supersede and essentially take a first crack at trying to comply with the court's orders rather than dumping it all in Judge Chutkan's lap, as the Supreme Court's opinion essentially does. You see here the special counsel's office making a good faith.
You would get ripped apart trying to become like running for office, especially on the right side. If you're on the left, you got a little bit better of a chance. Let's just be honest. You have like the odds are for you. Odds are against you on this side, unfortunately.
The effort to do that with a newly convened grand jury, that's because the grand juries who have heard evidence in this case before have expired. In all likelihood, they did not bring witnesses before this new grand jury, but rather an agent from the FBI to even read back from transcripts from grand jury interviews that were conducted prior to the first indictment. So we have some reading to do and comparing page by page what's still here. But for the most part, this remains a case against former President Trump, only identical charges and with lighter numbers of pages of paper here in an attempt to try and comply with the Supreme Court's order by taking out allegations of official acts for which the Supreme Court has said now that the former president cannot be charged, much less convicted. Alicia,
do we know anything more about the grand jury that Jack Smith impaneled here?
We don't. And we don't even know that it's a grand jury specific to Jack Smith. I want to go back to that statement that you were just reading from a few moments ago, because I believe that statement says that while the grand jury here had not previously heard evidence related to the case,
they have.
That this was not necessarily a grand jury just for this. It just says presented to a new grand jury that had not previously heard evidence in the case. So I'm not even sure that this grand jury was specific to this case. It could have been a grand jury that had already been convened in the ordinary course of business in the federal district of the District of Columbia, that's federal court in Washington, D.C.
Basil, it is a reminder that accountability is happening on parallel tracks here. And while this one track will not happen in the timely fashion that many people wanted to see it in, it proceeds nonetheless.
Wheels of justice keep turning. And, for Donald Trump, it's a reminder to him that he needs to get elected to get away from all this in his mind. But the reality is, and it's an important reminder that we all have to remember that this is a president who has heretofore, I love using that word heretofore, that has heretofore and will likely continue to see a number of his days in the future in a court defending himself and raising money for the purpose of his defense. And that's something that, as a Democrat, if you're Kamala Harris's campaign or any other Democrat around the country, to constantly remind voters, particularly in those swing states and in those districts, that this is not a person who has been freed or is free of allegations. It's still out there.
He has done such a remarkable job, though, of getting people to not think about this anymore. I mean, it is really unbelievable. And they've even sort of gaslighted the democracy topic.
I want to know the background of that dude and his family. You know what I mean? You want to make claims like as if fucking you're perfect. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, hey, none of your family members are felons. You don't have a record. You've never done anything fucked up. You know what I mean? I'm fucking crazy.
And turned this around into a political persecution and held it up over and over again as an example of why actually electing him is a way to protect democracy, which is, of course, completely ridiculous given the man tried to overthrow a free and fair election by calling his supporters to Capitol Hill. So, you saw some really meaningful videos and some pieces about January 6th during the DNC, but it's pretty remarkable that it sort of hangs in the background. And he has done actually an incredibly effective job of pushing the subject to the background, and we won't have much more information about it before the election.
There's a part of me that wants to free you up as quickly as possible so you can begin to do that side by side that you were speaking about. There's also a part of me that wants to keep you with me the entire show. So you will tell me when you have to go, as you look at these documents side by side, what is it you're going to be looking for?
I'm really going to be looking for what's missing because, Alicia, right now my expectation isn't that we're going to see anything new. It's rather that the Department of Justice is going to be taking away parts of the old indictment that they believe can no longer be used against former President Trump. And I want to take you and our viewers back to July when the Supreme Court ruled, because that ruling isn't just about the charges, it's also about evidence. And this is what we call a speaking indictment, right? It goes through events and facts in order to come up with those 4 charges. It doesn't just say we're charging former President Trump with obstruction of an official proceeding. It tells you why and how they allege that he obstructed that official proceeding. And so I'm going to be looking for what they take out of this, both in terms of the substantive charges, but also are there pieces of evidence here that really aren't integral to the charges, but could bear on, for example, former President Trump's intent?
Thank you, boys.
We're here mostly for evidentiary reasons. Those might be gone as well. And so that's going to be forefront of mind for me once I get these documents right in front of me and can do the precise line by line that we were just discussing.
Jesus. Oh my goodness. That woman was doing what we call woman prattle. Like, that's when you're just going on and on and on. Just, damn, wrap it up. We understand what you're trying to get at. Yeah, this is crazy, man. What do you guys think about this whole thing where they're retrying him essentially for the same shit that they already tried and failed? Why are the left so angry and joyless? Steve Easy says, they seem like such miserable people and I don't want to party with any of them. That's right. I wouldn't want to party with any of them either. That's crazy. Smash that like button. That's right, Code. That is the #1 metric of all of YouTube, man. If you guys can hit that like button, it means, hey, lets YouTube know that we're doing something right over here. So I very much appreciate you guys liking the video. I see you guys doing that. You guys becoming YouTube members, I can't thank you enough. Tiffany, I very much appreciate you joining yesterday. You know, like, I'm very honored with all of you guys and your guys' patronage and help with the channel, man. It goes so much further than you guys even know. And that's right, Rob. Let them know. That's right. 40 people watching, 22 likes. Smash that like button. That's right. Damn straight. Yeah, and I very much appreciate all of you guys hanging out and always giving your guys' thoughts and also letting me know about what's going on. I mean, a lot of the times I get my information from you guys too. Like, you guys will send me information, let's say on Instagram or something like that, direct messaging. You'll let me know about something that's going on. And then I'll look it up and go, holy shit, I had no idea. So a lot of you guys, your guys' help. Bliss Chris says, Mike, no need to respond to this during your show, but just want to make sure you check out CA, which is California Senator Shannon Grove, at the hearing regarding a bill for medical care for incarcerated pregnant women. I need to check that out. Like, you say something like that, absolutely, I'm going to get on it. What up, Dr. Harley? Good to see you, my man. Shout out to you. Great live you did. What was it? Yeah, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. Great live. I watched the whole thing. So if you keep me for your entire live, you're doing something right, man. I have to come back to your live in a bit. Got contractors here to paint the house. Absolutely, my man. Go get that handled. Much love, honor, respect. We got Rebecca in here as well, all the way up there in Canada. Always a huge honor to have you guys all the way around, whether it's like state to state or even down to, you know what I mean, like country to country, man. It's an honor. And Lee, thank you very much for that $2 donation right there. All that shit adds up quick too. I very much appreciate you, my man. Thank you. I'll find you on Instagram. Yes, my Instagram, so that everybody knows, is Ball Valve TV. Follow me on my Instagram. You can, yes, it does take me a minute to respond to people. I suck at it. I get super swamped with a whole bunch of direct messages, but I will get back to you. I promise you, I will get back to you. I'm terrible at it, but I will get back to you. Let me know it's you from the show. You know what I mean? And that's how I keep in contact with all of you guys. Again, thank you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing the live stream and the show, what we do every morning, man, Monday through Saturday anyways. And also thank you guys for your guys' patronage, where, you know, obviously YouTube won't get a 30% cut if you guys donate down below. Down here at the scrolling, you know, down here, we got Cash App, $ Ball Valve. We have Venmo at Ball Valve, and then PayPal, ballvalvetv@gmail.com. I very much appreciate that. If you guys donate to that, whether it's on or off the live stream, I will, of course, give you guys a shout out of when, I see it. Like the very next live, if I miss it, hey, guess what? We're going to give you a shout out on the next show. So with that being said, I can't thank you all enough for being here and hanging out with me, man. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, and we will, hopefully you all have a wonderful day. I know I will. Much love, honor, and respect. See ya.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a